Hi, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Cafecito Chats. I'm Laura Cortez, and I'm here joined by my colleague Liliana. Hi, Liliana.
Hi, Dr. Cortez, and hi, everyone joining us today.
We're super excited. This is our second broadcast. So if you're just joining us for the first time, we launched about 2 weeks ago. We're excited today because we're going to be talking about internships. And one of the things that's been on our mind is thinking about what college students are going through right now, what they must be thinking as they're starting to get ready for their virtual experience or in-class experience. And we also wanted to just find out, what is it like for students right now? So we're excited you're joining us. We're going to be talking a little bit about internships. And of course, Liliana, you have a little history about internships as well. So do you like to share?
Yes, for sure. And thank you, Dr. Cortez, for that great intro. So my experience, for those that don't know me, I'm Liliana, and I'm the director here for Cortez Consulting. And I actually met Dr. Cortez through one of the projects that her and I had been working in, which was the Colony Park project. And I did my education very untraditional. I was working full time and also, going to school. And my advisor kind of approached me. She was like, you do need an internship to graduate. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was really scrambling. And I don't know, for those viewers that probably watch me, if you have that untraditional, just trying to think of time management, like, having to have a family, a household, plus full-time job, and then adding an internship, I was like, okay, I can do it. I just have to find the right one that can work with me. So in that, I went to one of your events, Dr. Cortez, at that
Yeah.
time, and I saw that, and now we have them, and I know how to make them now. But during that, I saw one of your interns have a little tag that said intern, right, for Cortez Consulting, and he was helping and whatnot. So I remember meeting with you, and during our time that we met, I started, talking to you about the project, but then I said, on a personal level, I kind of have a favor to ask, and if it's okay if you can tell me no. And I remember, you talked about it and you said yes, and that opportunity just really helped me continue and graduate at that. But the internship, my experience that you provided for me was really more of like, how, if what I teach you, how can it prepare you for when you continue as you develop in your career? So that was my biggest takeaway when I did the
Uh-huh.
consulting internship. And I still carry my little intern badge that I have, as long as now with my director badge that I have. So that was really just my experience of my internship. And I think everybody has their own unique experience of why it makes it so special. Like you mentioned, today we are going to be highlighting the internships. So we do have a special guest, and I would love for you to do her intro, Dr. Cortez.
Yes. And one of the special things I wanted to share with just everyone out there, so if you have an internship program or if you started an internship program, for me, it was a very personal experience. The reason why we started this internship program in my office is because I had spent so much of my time in higher education. And I remember, just like you, Liliana, having an experience with internships, I had approached my family and I was like, I'm going to be starting this new business, and how do I integrate the things I love with students? How do I still create an environment where I could train and teach other students the things that I love? And so we started the internship program about a year after we started Cortez Consulting. We have undergraduate and graduate students that can apply for our position. One of the really cool things, because I've had experience in higher ed, I knew what it was like to give them academic credit, and we worked with some of the career offices to find out what some of those requirements were. We also wanted students to feel like they were working enough but not overwhelmed with what their coursework, and some of them have 2 jobs or 3 jobs at the same time. So we wanted to give them enough hours and experience to be part of our office, and so we offer them about 10 to 12 hours a week. And one of the things I love about public engagement that we found through this process is that any student with any major can be part of our office. So we've had business majors, accounting majors, students with communications. And we traditionally in our office stay within kind of two different majors. We either do marketing or public engagement. So for me, it was finding a really happy median in like doing the things I love, but still having higher ed as part of my business. And it's worked out really well. As you mentioned, I do want to introduce, we have a special guest today. She's so special to me because she is also from the Rio Grande Valley, where I grew up. And she came to our office in fall 2019. She's also from St. Edwards, and I have a long history of having worked at St. Edwards, but have tons of colleagues and friends who are still there. And so it's always special when we have the opportunity to mentor a student from St. Edwards. But we're going to go ahead and bring her to the screen. Her name is Magnolia Cruz. Magnolia, welcome to Cafecito Chats.
Hi, thank you for having me, and thank you to your audience as well.
We're excited you're here, Magnolia.
Thank you. I'm excited as well to share any consejitos or any advice to any students out there who may be interested.
Yes. So Liliana, I'm sure we thought of some questions for everybody, and we were trying to think of our audience and some of the things you might be thinking of, what students might be on students' minds. So I'm going to turn it over to you to ask Magnolia one of the first questions.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Cortez. So before we get started, Magnolia, I know we both know you because, again, we got the opportunity to bring you on board with our internship program. But I would love for you to share just a little bit about yourself, whatever you would like, anything about your background. I know Dr. Cortez and you are both from the Valley, so that's something, and my husband is too, so I feel I have a connection there. But please feel free to share anything that you would like.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Magnolia Cruz. I am from Brownsville, Texas, so RGB proud. I am currently a senior majoring in business administration and Spanish in the University of St. Edwards, in St. Edwards University in Austin. And like it was mentioned, I interned with Cortez Consulting. I was a public engagement intern last fall. I absolutely loved my experience. I was able to broaden my knowledge about different businesses and what consulting is about. And I was also able to learn more about the Austin community. So coming from the Valley, I wanted to know more about Austin, how I could help, how I could give back. And I have done a few previous internships. I've also interned with Omnitrax down here in the Valley, which is a railroad company, and they operate in the port of Brownsville. And then I've also been able to have the privilege and the honor to be accepted as part of the Governor's Fellowship. I first started with the Texas Commission for Women. And then 2 months after that, I was promoted to work for the Office of the First Lady of Texas, which was a great honor. And so, as you can probably tell, these are very varied. I've done a range of different things, and they've all been incredible because they've challenged me to get out of my comfort zone, and I've learned and gained new experience from all of these internships.
So Magnolia, I know one of the things, and congratulations, we're just super proud to highlight you today because it sounds like, and we know this of you, that you've obviously been working towards all these experiences to kind of find yourself and find what you plan to do with your career. And as you mentioned, it's been something that's helped develop you. Beyond that, like, what are some things as you're feeling right now? I know we're going through this major pandemic, and I'm sure some of the students that are watching are probably wondering, like, are you feeling the same way they are? Anxious, concerned? Share with us a little bit about what you're going through right now.
Yeah, well, it's all changed since the pandemic began. Of course, we all went on spring break and then we didn't come back. And so that was, at the beginning, we dealt with it with humor, like, we can't believe this is happening to us, but now we've had to face the reality that our classes are going to be online. We are not going to be returning to campus. We probably won't be seeing our friends anymore. We won't be able to interact in classes, speak directly with our professors if we're having any issues. Even the dreaded group projects, we probably won't be able to carry them out in the same way. And so now we've had to come to terms with this new reality. I'm looking forward to any silver linings, any opportunities that may be out there, but under everything, it's a lot of uncertainty and anxiousness, because as students, we're always told that getting your bachelor's degree will help elevate you from other candidates, and it will give you leverage in the career world. And so now it's thinking about how much of a leverage that will give us, and then thinking about unemployment, if companies are hiring, if they're not, what can I do to add value to myself as a candidate and to really position myself well out there in the professional world. And so it's very uncertain at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that there are still opportunities, and if we look for them, we can find them. Maybe we'll have to look a bit harder, but we can, I'm sure there's hope out there.
Great. Thank you, Magnolia, for sharing that. And I think you really transitioned for the next item, which is just any kind of consejitos or consejos that you can give to students as they are looking for this internships. You mentioned, not losing hope. And I think that is one of the biggest things that, you just beyond any experience, but is there anything as you are, I don't know if you're considering an internship during this time or trying to figure that piece out, but as you're doing your own research, have you found anything or any tips that you can provide our viewers?
Well, I'm definitely looking for other opportunities, whether it be internships, part-time jobs, looking into transitioning into a full-time job as I am a senior now. But something that I would definitely give as a consejito is to really invest in yourself. And this is something that we've all heard even before the pandemic began. But now I think it's even more important to really look at those skills. We have the time now to do so. So, really research, read, investigate, educate yourself on all of those topics that will really help make you a better person, a better candidate overall, whether it be something directly related to your major or a hobby that you've always wanted to take on, or emotional intelligence, financial literacy. There's so many options with the internet. We have so many resources out there, and we can really start investing in ourselves, and not just career-wise, but also personally. So, looking for our friendships, our relationships that will really motivate us and help us throughout these next few months. And then personally, so looking after your health. I've seen a lot of students that now that we have the time, we're starting to exercise, we're starting to work out, we're starting to take on all these hobbies that we've always wanted to have the time to do them, and now we do have the time. So definitely invest in yourself, and also to, just go for it. Sometimes we feel that we are underqualified, that we're not prepared for all of these opportunities that are available. But instead of worrying about them, just apply and worry for it later, go along the way. A lot of us, we are prepared, we are qualified, and we know that we can do the job. So just go out there, knock on a few doors if you need to, and some doors may not open, but ask around, don't give up hope, and I'm sure these times may seem difficult right now, but once we get through them, which we will come out much more resilient and prepared to face any obstacles in the future.
And Magnolia, I know you talked a little bit about your experiences that you've had, And I wondered if there was a unique experience. I think you just have had a number of different kinds of experiences. If you don't mind sharing, especially for students who are watching who are just about to start their journey and maybe considering an internship, or what was that like? You know, if you could share with us a little bit maybe of your favorite experiences you had, what that was like for you, and then I mean, what are some things that you consider when you start an internship, and what are things that go through your mind as you're kind of looking for those things, for those opportunities?
Well, as I've mentioned before, none of my internships really have the same underlying experiences, you know, from railroad to government and now with consulting. And so one of my tips that I could give is to really challenge yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. It will feel uncomfortable, but you can really learn a lot about yourself through challenging yourself. You know, what things are you willing to accept? What things are you uncomfortable with? Some new experiences, something new that you can learn. I know with Cortez Consulting, I love speaking, but I can also be a bit shy. And so I applied because I felt that I fit the requirements that were listed. And I just remember feeling so confident that I knew that I could do this, that even though I was very nervous for the interview, I knew that I could do this. And I just wanted to help. Like I mentioned before, Austin was very new to me. I wanted to get to know more about Austin, the community, what issues there are, how could I help? And so one of the requirements was someone who was bilingual, or preferably someone who could speak Spanish. And I thought, I've been speaking Spanish for 20 plus years. I am overly qualified for this position. And that was honestly one of the key factors that really made my experience at Cortez amazing, because I was able to talk to so many people during our events that we hosted. I was able to just see how their faces lit up when they were able to communicate with someone who was able to provide them the information that they were seeking, someone who made them feel like they were at home. And so something else that I got from Cortez Consulting, and of course, this varies for everyone in all of their experiences, but you know, the difference between working for a large business and a small business, those changes are really important. And with Cortez, I always felt at home. It was very cozy. I just loved going to work and saying good morning to everyone, and just the dynamics and the leadership and the conversations that we had. That was something that just stuck with me, and I'm sure it will help me so much more in my future, but definitely that.
Magnolia, we're super grateful for that. We promised the audience we didn't set her up to say all of that things, but we're super grateful for everything that you had in the experience. And I'll just share mine. I know Liliana got to work with you more closely, and I'm sure she's dying to share with our audience how special it was for her. But for us, it was, and what I will tell students is that sometimes you don't realize what skills you have and how beneficial those are going to be for companies. And I remember when you came to work for us and you had the skill in being trained on how to do transcription, you would always give us options on how to think about things, and you just came in ready to work. And I think we admired your work ethic so much. And so advice for people out there is that us as business owners and people who are managing you, we're looking for people who are ready to work. You never know what type of experiences are going to come out that we need support with. And so while she came in and did certain experiences, we were so confident in her skill set that we just put you in every role that we felt. And I'm glad that you point out that not all the time are you confident when you go into the internship knowing what you're going to do, but you gave it a shot. And working with the public is something I know we trained you and we gave you the skills to do it, but then it was all you. So we're super proud of you that you came in and you kind of have that skill of working with people that will go with you anywhere. So we are so grateful we had that moment to work with you, and how much you just really blessed our company with all the things you brought to it. So we are too grateful for you being there for the time that you were.
And Magnolia, I would like to add, I think just as I jumped on board with Cortez Consulting, that was going to be one of my main projects to really focus on the internship program. And I was stoked. I was like, I'm ready. Like, yes, Dr. Cortez, you gave me the experience that I want to give this back. And it's like a trend, right, that keeps on giving. And you and our other colleague were, of course, the first ones as far as my intern. And I'm like, y'all make it so easy. Like, it's so nice. Dr. Cortez, we're good. We're ready to go. So I thank you. And I echo what Dr. Cortez mentioned earlier. We did not give Magnolia any kind of words. This is from her heart. So I do want to acknowledge that. But thank you very much for sharing that of just the internship program. And at this time, I do want to highlight, if anyone's out there is interested in becoming an intern with us, we are going to be opening up some positions this fall, and it's going to be for our marketing internship. Some of the roles that could take play for this position, you would be helping us like with our social media plan, press releases support, just anything that's virtual. We are confident that we can support you and still provide you with an experience that you will carry on. A benefit that you can think of when you come on board with our internship, we do the credit, the college credit. We also provide you with as much as experience that we can, like Dr. Cortez and Magnolia mentioned. And the piece of it is like also learning life experience, being able to teach and learn of the time management and the benefits of doing that and being disciplined and just being able to juggle all that. So I do encourage anyone, we do have an interest form that is available for anyone that wants to apply. Here it is. All you would have to do is fill that form out for us, add your resume to it. We would look and then, of course, bring you on for an interview and go through our interview process. Feel free to share this video along as you're looking, at us. Feel free to share it in your page. If you know someone that might be interested, whether, it's a freshman undergrad to a grad student, we do consider all, grade levels in that sense. But I'll turn it back over to you, Dr. Cortez, and how people can get in contact with us and if they have any other questions for us.
Thank you, Liliana. And I would also say that we have had interns from all the universities around the Austin area. So we've had students from St. Edward's, University of Texas, as well as Texas State. And my advice to students too is we always use this tidbit when we interview students. We do a formal interview process. We always tell them that them interviewing us is just as important as us interviewing them. And so my biggest advice I would say to students, and I think they're always shocked about that, but you really want a place that speaks and resonates to you, where you think you can grow, where you think that you're really going to have an opportunity to do some good work. Right now we have also seen that universities are putting things online and are going to have these virtual pods where you can actually interview with employers, and you best know we are going to be there. So take advantage of all those opportunities out there where you can find internships that your university is providing you those opportunities to apply. So with that said, we did put up our interest form. We also want to just take a moment to stop and see if there's anyone that has comments or questions for our special guest, Magnolia, or if you want to give her a shout out and say hi. We're going to just pause and just see if there's any comments that we have. Well, if you do have any comments, we'll be happy to reply and kind of let you know. Before we sign off with Magnolia, is there any last bit of words you might want to say to the audience?
Nothing, just thank you so much for having me. I really encourage everyone to apply not only to all the internships that they find available, but also to Cortez if any of what we said today sort of resonated with you or inspired you. I loved my time with Cortez Consulting, and I'm sure you will too if you apply. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Magnolia, for those words. And as we look to the next couple of weeks and the next month, for those of you that might be interested in being part of our Cafecito chats, we've already thought of some ideas. We focused on the first thing we love this time, which is students and internships. We'll be focusing on different topics like health and wellness. We're hoping to hopefully have different types of speakers for you, but we do have an interest form that we will post in the comments section. Just please feel free to fill that out, and we'll be sure to get back to you, give you kind of some dates that we're thinking about. And of course, as always, we ask you to please follow us on social media. Stay connected with us. We try our very best to keep the website up and going. If you want to share with us, if you ever need advice about you wanting to do internships, we are here and available for you. I think oftentimes people think you just have to work for them to give them for us to give you advice. But we're actually here and available. People who have internship programs, definitely seek them out and find out ways that you might be able to get some support. So we're wishing all the students and everyone who tuned in, we want to thank you again for supporting Cafecito this week. We love having this program. We're excited about where it's going. And again, Magnolia, to you, we just wish you the best of luck as you continue your endeavors. We have no doubt that you're going to continue to go out and do wonderful things in this world. So thank you very much. And with that, we're signing off. We get to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you, everyone.